Hi and welcome to the Geek Legion of Doom. This is a horror movie review and I'll be having a look at the 2004 movie Dead Birds. So I remember reading some articles about this film before it came out in things like Fangoria magazine and what have you, and it was touted to be one of the most scary films ever made before I saw it. Now this film is a kind of almost a cowboy western sort of horror film, and it takes place sort of during or around the sort of time of the American Civil War. And we start off with seeing our sort of our group of characters, and we find out they're actually bank robbers, and we see quite a violent bank robbery where they actually kill quite a lot of innocent people in an attempt to steal a whole bunch of gold. And the plan is to go to some sort of old deserted house that one of them has kind of had been sort of told by someone else that is the place to go to sort of hide out on ultimately, and then move on to Mexico from there. So it seems like they may have sort of got a bit lost eventually, going to this place, and eventually they sort of find it, and it's a massive sort of plantation with a large sort of mansion type, sort of stately home type house, and they hold up there for the night, or they plan to anyway. On the way, they kind of shoot this strange, almost skinless looking creature, and I don't know what it is. They sort of just put it down to it being some kind of boar, where it's clearly not. So that's the first thing. They notice sort of dead birds on the floor and things like that. And sure enough, sort of strange sort of things start to happen. Ghostly images start to appear. They kind of each of the sort of characters end up sort of getting split up from the other ones, and sort of the spooky stuff happens in a sort of increasingly frequent sort of manner. And then we sort of find out that the people who have lived there, or the guy who lived there before, had made some sort of occult deal with the devil or something to try and kind of get his wife back, and in doing so he sort of sacrificed slaves, and ultimately his children were turned into some sort of demons, and we sort of see sort of flashes of them and things like that. And it's I'm not going to spoil the ending for it. It's kind of got a bit of a twist ending, which some people may like, some people may not. I'll have to say it's one of those sort of things that I think will split the audience on that one. But there's some good imagery here, and it has got a very sort of dark and sort of foreboding atmosphere that I think really helps it. It's kind of quite an eerie film. So jump scares are also a thing that's in this film, which I know some people like, some people don't, and that's going to be up to you. So there are some great images in this film, and one of the sort of the real plus points of this film is the kind of creature designs do look very, very horrific, and they're mostly practical effects. There's a couple of CGI shots that are showing its age a bit now, but generally speaking, the majority of the effects are practical, and that's really to its benefit. I don't think the music is quite spooky, but it's a bit samey at the same time, I have to say. Now, I guess the two main issues with this film, I would say, is the first that you can't really root for these people, because we see them murder a lot of innocent people at the beginning of the film, including a child. So you're trying to root for these guys, or if the film is trying to make you root for these guys, they're bad people. They all have a hand in ultimately killing, a lot of innocent people, as I say, including a child. So that's that thing. I do think it maybe sort of loses some steam sort of midway through the film. It kind of slows down and gets a little bit almost boring, I would have to say, at the middle of the middle of this film. You do have these kind of flashes of of great sort of scares and things like that, which is fantastic. But it is a little bit of a slow moving film. For the most part, I would have to say. The cast is very good. You've got Henry Thomas sort of in the lead role, I suppose, who is the film's protagonist to a point. But you've also got Isaiah Washington, and you've got Michael Shannon, obviously now better known for Boardwalk Empire and Man of Steel. So a decent cast, do a decent job of acting. I don't think it's terribly original, I have to say. You kind of you can pretty much, maybe the twist that's at the end aside, you can pretty much sort of guess what will happen, and there's not a lot of surprises until maybe the very end, which I personally wasn't a huge fan of the twist at the end, I have to say, but each to their own. So overall, just really for the visuals of this film, I think it makes it a cut above average, I have to say, and the sort of spooky atmosphere that it does sort of permeate. So I want to give this one a 6 out of 10. Have you seen it? Let me know what you think and leave me a comment. I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.